Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. Hey Tamer Bowling fans, we are now on Patreon. For exclusive content, please join us at patreon.com/tamerbowling. Today we are testing the new Roto Grip Halo. We're testing on a 40-foot medium house shot and a 40-foot flat red square pattern. Alright, first impressions. The Halo is as expected. A really strong piece, cleaner than you would expect for a really aggressive cover, but it's smooth in the mid lane, and that asim break towards the pocket is predictable. Really the step up to the Idol we figured it would be. For value, we gave the Roto Grip Halo a B. The Halo is a strong, aggressive piece with top line pricing. I didn't kill it on value because I feel like this ball may still be usable on house shots for those with less hand after seeing the length it can generate along with that back end move. Overall, we gave the Halo a B on house shot and a B on sport shot. Okay, everyone who's seen the Idol could kind of see this coming. The Halo uses the same strong cover with an asymmetric core. Seeing the shape of the core, we expected we would still get the smooth skid hook transition, but a stronger hook to roll transition. Lo and behold, we got exactly what we thought. I said before we threw the Halo, this should be what the shore lock should have been to the lock. After we threw it, it was exactly what we thought. For Roto Grip fans, it's similar to the Hypercell or the original No Rules, but a little smoother. The ball's really strong and feels like a lumbering beast. For me, I didn't have to get really deep on the house because it bleeds enough energy. That doesn't make it super huge side to side. Don't get me wrong, it's got plenty of back end and you can see the decidedly asymmetric transition, but it's like a snow tire in that if you push it too hard to the outside of the corner, it'll give out on you. So miss out and it's going to be lazy, miss in and it's too strong to hold. For me, this is a lot of ball on typical medium house shot and not enough forgiveness on either side to make me feel comfortable pulling it out on this type of volume. We had a chance to compare it to the Codex, and the Codex showed to be similar board coverage but not as strong. It was cleaner as you would expect from the R2S cover and more snappy down lane. Comparing to the Idol, you can see the more aggressive transition from hook to roll with the Halo compared to the smoother transition from the Idol. They are similar in board coverage on house, just have different shapes transitioning to the last phase. Sean was next, and as you would expect, with this much hand, the Halo is not ideal for this medium house condition for him. You still see a biting, smooth reaction of the cover, but it bites a bit earlier for Sean than for me. It's a heavy, medium, early roll with fairly aggressive downlane bite, and the Halo proves a bit over-under, seeing similar to what I saw to some extent. Sean has to try a bit too hard with this piece, and so pushing it through the mids and missing out causes it to die out there, and missing in has no chance to hold. He definitely had an easier time getting length from the Idol with smoother and more continuous motion through the pins. Bryan was next, and the Halo looked quite good for him. He didn't feel like he had to overthrow it to get it through the heads, and that's due to his release. He was really able to take advantage of the strong transition from a really good continuous motion through the pin. The Storm Lock is one of his favorite balls because he sees that type of motion. The ball generates motion that really helps him, and the Halo does the same. However, the Halo is clearly a step up. He also has a shore lock, but the Halo looks more like a big block than the shore lock does. Not in terms of strength, but in terms of shape. He also likened it to the Hypercell, in that it's that big motor that got enough length but turned over definitively and heavy through the pins. Compared to his Idol, the smoothness is almost night and day. The Idol is just smoother all the way through the transitions, and that forces him to be tighter to the pocket and takes away forgiveness that he has with the Halo. Finally, Dave tests, and Dave to me will be the most representative of what the Halo will do for many house bowlers. He's a stroker with a kind of end-over-end roll and medium rotation that's close to many bowlers, and this is another style that benefits from the heavy roll of the Halo. He gets good enough length and a perfect heavy transition. This helps him take advantage of that heavy core in terms of drive and pin carry. He plays in the track, so he has some room left and right. A little right, and he might leave a flat corner or a 2-pin if it totally dies. A little miss in, and he could see a 4-pin or even trip it. For the sport shot, we had the very tough flat red square, which is a 40-foot pattern. This is all about premium on shot making and preserving the pattern as long as possible in terms of play. As such, Halo would not be a ball Sean or I would use on this pattern under normal circumstances. I had to be into the fifth arrow and get it into that fallback type motion so it can lay off. If it has room at all to hook, it overhooks. And as a lefty, where would I go from there? Nevertheless, it's a smooth, strong ball that I can definitely take advantage of on longer sport patterns. Sean uses a little trickery to reduce his axis rotation substantially, and here you see how heavy and hard it goes through the pins. For Bryan, it's a different story. Even on this pattern, he uses surface to slow the ball down and get ball reaction. He was surprised that even a slight miss out recovered when you typically don't have forgiveness on this flat pattern. Dave again had good ball reaction. He can play in the same track area because of the pattern length, and you can see the heavy transition and strong roll. Again, the watch out is flat patterns transition quickly, so he would have to keep chasing, and if he's with high rev bowlers, the shot could get unplayable in time. Alright, final thoughts. The Roto Grip Halo is exactly what we figured and expected. Huge ball, smooth mid lane, stronger asim down lane motion. And despite this crazy strength, I believe many house bowlers will find this ball useful. For those with more complex bags, this is obviously at the top end. Would I use this on house? Not likely. Would I use it on a higher volume, longer sport pattern? Absolutely. Would Bryan and Dave use this on house? Yes, they would. Its characteristics will make it more usable for people with their style. And in the end, having a heavy oil ball that rolls heavy with a visibly strong transition is one that will make it to a lot of bags, and the Halo fills those shoes nicely.
I need to tell you to what Tamer Elbaga